Hey there, YouTubers, it's Francis Judy again. So at last I finished the guided trip for today, and I am at last back to my hotel room, and I did some shopping for some clothes, for some food, and a bit of snack, yes, and a bit of snack here and there, so basically tonight I like to share with you guys several ideas and experiences that I have gathered here in Japan. As always, I love gathering thoughts and ideas about pretty much every aspect of human lives. Particularly my own, but not just my own, but somebody else's lives too. And I think it always matters remarkably to not to just pay attention to your own lives, to somebody else's lives, but also deeply and insightfully and skillfully examine those lives. No matter those lives are the lives that's been lost or the lives that's been saved, and also the lives that still tend to suffer from the lives that's long past. I think it's it also matters that we need to clarify several points about life. So first of all, number one, I like to point out is that in fact we ourselves are in charge of our own the state of the mind in particular. So but I'm not saying we are fully in charge of our own happiness, so do take note of that, because yes, there are just on many occasions we don't exert the ultimate control over ourselves, and we can still do something stupid from time to time, and that is just inevitable. Although we can learn from experience, we can command our wishes and thoughts to a certain degree based on our previous experiences or encounters with people, with things, with our routine tasks or projects whatsoever. Yes, I am glad to say that I feel glad that I managed to make it here to Japan despite all odds, despite all those stupid shit such as depression, suicidal thoughts, and lots of shit. But I'd hate to mention, in fact. So on the other hand, I'd like to point out that I appreciate the Japanese people, the Japanese folks that I met here, especially in Fukuoka, and I have found that Fukuoka the most to be the one of the most friendly cities throughout Japan. People are very kind, very helpful. They always they always pay close attention while you ask them questions, while you whenever you speak to them. They never ever talk you over. I don't know if I use the right term, talk you over or something. Yeah. So not just talk over, but talk somebody down or talk somebody through. Sorry. Oh yes, they never ever talk you down while you speak to them. They always pay close attention to what you have to say until you finish what you have to say, and they will give their own answers or advice to a particular question. Yes, they will be even more glad if you can have conversations with them in Japanese, and that's what I've been doing so far, as you can see from my most recent videos on YouTube. And the tours that I have fully experienced, they cost almost next to nothing. Just a few thousand yen. For instance, the previous one that I completed, managed to finalize to complete before the Kitakyushu Walking Tour. It appears that the drying machine has finished drying my washed clothing. So yes, I shall head straight towards that location right after I finish this video. So yeah, I'd say if you wish to practice your Japanese language, then I highly suggest that you first of all pay Fukuoka a visit, and I can promise you with absolute certainty that you will find Fukuoka and her people very, very friendly, very, very kind, very, very modest, and welcoming. Yes. So what matters more is that the hotels there, especially the 4-star one, 3-star one, are also very cheap. Not when I say cheap, it doesn't mean that the quality, it doesn't mean, I don't mean that the service they provide always carries poor qualities or whatsoever, but instead it is highly worth it, and you won't know a thing until you get to experience it, until you take your very first step to try it on your own, to go through all the routes, either you plan on your own or based on those or with the assistance of your tour guides whatsoever, or whomsoever. But I highly recommend that you plan your own trip, and since the internet, the interweb, always have an abundant amount of highly relevant information. Even if you just Google it, for instance, like the one I previously mentioned and demonstrated, to you guys, for you guys, on my previous video named, the advanced route planning on what? Yes. Day 2 it's named Day 2 in Japan, Fukuoka Advanced Route Planning to Kitakyushu while in Japan, and その日本語のタイトルは大体一体どうすれば最適な路線計画できるのorできるんでしょうか。それyes, so sometimes I'd say certain tasks, they appear harder than they actually are, such as overcoming suicidal fantasies, depressions, stuttering, social anxiety, etc. And I can certainly relate to what you guys have been feeling, and I can certainly relate to your suffering, to your frustrations, to your hopelessness. Yes, I can certainly relate to that, believe me, more than anyone else, because in the year 2019, for this particular year, a lot has happened both to me and the people who I love and care about. So I mean, it is, yes, I know, it is okay. I'd say on most occasions it is okay not to be okay with yourself. I know you might find yourself in a very hopeless situation, such as losing one of your parents or losing both of your parents, like me. But despite all of those, I still have my grandparents. I still have my grandma, my grandpa in China. Their their vital conditions are pretty much always adequate, and thriving. At least they can still take care of themselves when it comes to performing daily routine tasks such as washing dishes, washing this and that here and there, such as clothing, socks, pillows, whatsoever. And they can, especially my grandma. Especially my grandpa. He can still, just hang out with random citizens, and to somewhere quite afar, such as Gansu province, which situates itself far away from the Hebei province, where his hometown is, a couple of thousand kilometers, I'd say nearly quite close to 10,000 kilometers in total, I'd say. Well, based on my previous knowledge and experiences, yes, and and here and there, more or less. So I'd say I like, on the other hand, I like to deliver another sincere message that contains the comforting reassurances to you guys there. Well, at least if you are in Japan, or if you are in countries like Japan, maybe not Singapore, because in terms of its size and in terms of the overall layout of infrastructure of the systems of implementations of certain policies, certain policies that will have huge implications on its economy, on its geopolitics, on its foreign trade or whatsoever. Sorry, I don't. I know very little about geopolitics. In fact, even after I watched the channel named Caspian Report. So what else? Yes, in fact, like I previously mentioned during my previous filming, while I was on the way from Fukuoka to Kitakyushu, I bumped into several more teammates of mine, and the teammates of my teammates, from which in which I participated in the the Fukuoka Walking Tour. Yes, they are the teammates of my teammates. Probably those teammates they failed to turn up on the same day at the same time with those with those whom I actually shared such experiences with. So as a result, do not think too much, and that's first and foremost. Second, do not prematurely do not make judgments prematurely on yourself and on other people's as well. And of course, always eat your breakfast, no matter how no matter how should I put it, no matter how mendokusai that becomes. When I say mendokusai, it means troubling or troublesome. Yes. So don't you ever think that eating your breakfast is gonna cost you big time of big events of your own your own opportunities to grow further and stronger and more mature, more durable when it comes when those trials and troubles start to hit you, and always stay courageous, never be afraid of anything but going to hell, and never fear suicidal thoughts, since you just have such thoughts. It does not necessarily mean that you are gonna to actualize those thoughts. Believe me, I have been having those thoughts for more than I can care to remember. In fact, for longer than I care to remember, for more times and occasions than I care to recall. Yes, it is absolutely, it is utterly, I know it is utterly terrifying and devastating when it just warms into your head, and maybe you currently don't know what to do with that. But my advice is that, first of all, you need to take a leap of faith by taking some actions, like I previously mentioned, and also try to find someone. Try to at least find someone who are willing to go with you. Yes, by booking a tour group, assuming you have some other travel arrangements to some other countries, to countries other than Japan, such as Turkey, such as Russia, such as European countries, etc., so on and so forth. What else? Probably maybe you should, yes, sometimes I suppose as men we need to take advantage of the lifestyles of certain decent women, decent ladies. I think as men we also need to take good care of ourselves by having a positive outlook, and also in the meantime not by taking care of ourselves, looking after ourselves. It always has and will always have the same meaning as the beginning, since the beginning of the whole creation of the entire universe, which means you need to look after yourself, both in terms of physical health and both in terms of the psychological or the spiritual spiritual condition that can endlessly generate motivations, energy for yourself to move forward with your life. And which means always eating breakfast plays a vital role to ensuring that that you have a sound beginning on that day, on every day, that you that you never forget to look after yourselves by eating your breakfast, by getting up early, by go to bed early, by getting up early, and always find something to do, and always find someone to do that certain something with. And no matter how sincere or how insincere, no matter how insincerely or sincerely they treat you, but yes, it is better that you find those who are sincere. That is beyond doubt, and so I hope this video can somewhat help you with at least something, no matter where you are, no matter what you are doing, no matter which profession you choose to make yourself a living, and so 最後にご覧いただき本当に誠にありがとうございます。 それじゃあ、もし差し支えなければこのチャンネルに、ぜひご登録してください。あとはそれじゃあ、もう夜が遅いので、私はここでそろそろ失礼いたします。また明日、また今度ね。So thank you guys again for watching and listening, and thank you for your guys continuing and ever increasing amount and level of support. Even if you didn't actually, pay for the restricted or unlisted videos. I posted to my channel and via Patreon. Even if you are unwilling to do that, I still welcome all of you with my fully open arms. So もう一度、どうもありがとうございました。ご覧いただき、それじゃあ私はそろそろ失礼します。じゃあまた今度後で YouTube でもまた会いましょうか。バイバイ。じゃあね、Cheers。